Hey guys, welcome back to the episode number 2 of the investor series. So in part 1, we spoke about different mortgages, who exactly can get mortgages in Dubai, okay, who exactly can invest in Dubai, and we also spoke about the Dubai market sentiment in general, okay. In this specific video, we will be speaking about the tax laws when it comes to properties. We will be discussing the different kinds of investors visas when you invest into a property, and we will also get into what exactly does it take to get started into real estate in Dubai. Like what is the minimum amount, what kind of areas you should focus on, how exactly is the dynamic of the Dubai real estate market. So when it comes to the tax laws, there are no specific taxes that you pay when you invest into properties. So taxes like capital gain taxes, income taxes, those don't apply in Dubai. Okay. So whatever rent you make from your property, that rent is all yours. You don't pay anything on that. Okay. And when it comes to the capital gain tax, there is no capital gain tax as well. Okay, so the only cost that you have when you invest into a property in Dubai is the service charges. Okay, so all owners pay a specific service charge specific to different properties. Okay, so this ranges between 14 dirhams to 18, 19 dirhams per square foot. So whatever size your apartment is, that multiplied by between 14 to 18 dirhams, that will give you the service charges of the apartment itself. Okay, and that is the only thing that is deductible from the rent. The rest is completely yours. Okay, that's about the taxes and the service charges. When it comes to the investors visas, you basically have two kinds of visas. You have one which is renewable every 3 years, and then you have one more which is renewable every 5 years. Okay, now before I get into more detail about that, let me mention that there are specific amendments and changes that have been made to these laws, and they have been amended more in favor of the investors themselves. So when it comes to the 3-year visa, previously the threshold was 1 million dirhams, okay, and it had to be one property, it had to be a ready property, okay, and you could not apply for the visa until it was not fully paid for. Now that has been amended, so they have reduced the threshold from 1 million to 750,000 dirhams, okay, and now it doesn't necessarily has to be a ready property. It can also be off plan, which is under construction, and you don't have to pay for it fully. Like if you have invested, like there are developers whose requirement is that you need to pay 20% upfront with the 4% DLD fee. So that brings it to 24%. So now by paying 24%, you can apply for the visa and have the visa. Okay. And now you can also sponsor your kids, your spouse, your parents, and also a service member. Like for example, if you have a maid, you can sponsor them as well on this visa. Okay, and you get to keep the visa for as long as you hold the property. So as long as you don't sell it, you get to keep the investor's visa. Okay, and you don't necessarily have to visit Dubai frequently now. Previously, you had to visit at least once every 6 months, but that also has been changed. Now you get to keep the visa for as long as you want without ever visiting Dubai. Okay, so those are the benefits of the visa. So that's one kind of visa, which is the 3-year visa. The second type of visa is the 5-year visa. Okay, so this previously had a threshold of 10 million dirhams. That threshold has been brought down to 2 million dirhams. So the only difference in both the visas is that one is renewable once every 3 years, the other one is renewable once every 5 years. Okay, so those are the types of visas that you can get investing in properties in Dubai. Now, when it comes to the specific projects and developments in Dubai, investors can get started in Dubai real estate for as low as 500,000 dirhams. Yes, there are properties below that as well, but I would highly recommend everybody to keep out of those properties because those properties come with their own set of problems. Okay, so I strongly believe that if there is anything that sounds too good to be true, then it probably isn't. Okay, so when you're looking at properties in good areas, in matured areas, being built by a good developer, these properties start from around 500,000 dirhams onwards, depending upon what kind of unit are you choosing, whether it's a studio what kind of area it is it an upcoming area, is it an already developed area, and those kind of nuances. So if you're considering areas that are extremely developed, like Dubai Marina, you have JBR, you have downtown, these areas have already been very much developed. And as per me, this is just my ideology that they have kind of hit their peak. So now there are other developments that are coming up, and they offer much more capital appreciation over time. So my perspective when I'm investing with my investors is to focus on properties, on projects which are being built in emerging areas. So that way, you also have the capital appreciation of the area and the property itself, rather than focusing on areas that are already developed. So if you're looking at areas that are already developed, then you would be buying a typical one bedroom in these areas, like for like Dubai Marina, JBR, downtown, you would be spending anywhere close to 2 million dirhams for a one bedroom. Okay. If you're looking to invest in an upcoming area with a similar quality, a similar size, a similar project, you would be spending around 1.3 million dirhams to 1.5 million dirhams. That's the difference in both. But there is one thing that I recommend my clients to do, and this is my thought process, and this is what I would like to share with you as well. I always recommend my clients to purchase a property and have the goal of clearing of the property. If the property has a payment plan, try to clear that off as soon as possible, because once you have the full ownership of the property itself, so once you have 100% ownership of that property, now you can use that property to get an equity release from the bank. So this ranges in Dubai, it ranges between 60 to 65% of the property value at that time. Okay, so this really opens up a lot of doors for investors to use that equity to invest into more projects. So initially, if you paid 20% for the first property, now with the equity release, you can invest into a bigger property, or you can invest into two different properties. So this really, it really expedites the process of having a bigger portfolio much more faster. And so instead of getting the first property and having the rental return out of it, with that focus, it will take you a lot of time for you to build a portfolio. So for me, it's all about building a property portfolio over a period of time, because that is what I think where the real wealth is. That is how I think generational wealth is built. So that is my focus. But if you have different goals, if you have a different forecast for yourself, so you obviously have a lot of ways to invest into properties. But this is my perspective. So I would really love to hear what you guys think. I read all the comments. If there is anything specific that you guys want to know about, just put it down in the comments and I'll be sure to make a video on that next. Do like and subscribe if this is something that you like to see, and see you in the next one.